right, peace and love, fam. Peace and love. I'm back at you again. So this video right here is all about creating affidavits, creating your writs, and getting them very polished. So if you have to send it out, people won't think you're a fool. All right, you have to know how to use your literature that you've studied. Your word game got to be on point. Never get emotional. Just keep it factual and hold them to their oath. All right. So this letter that I'm about to read is an affidavit that I wrote in January of 2016. To be specific, it was January 2nd, 2016, and it was to the mayor of Memphis at that time, which is named Jim Strickland. And I wrote the letter to him right after he's taken his oath that day. I wanted to remind him that, hey, guy, you got a job and we're watching you, okay? Because nobody made you walk in there and do this right here and take the oath. But you got guys like me that's going to hold them to it, all right? So this is an email that I emailed to him on January 1st at 10:53 p.m. And I took a copy of it and I mailed it certified to him as well. This way, he can't say that he didn't receive it, all right? So we're going to start off. At the very top, it says notice of exercising secured unalienable birthrights. You can see where it comes from me. It's CC'd to me, and I end up sending it to him. All right. So it says to Mayor Jim Strickland from Mario L. Bey, ex-rel Mario Jenkins. Ex-rel is a law term basically saying that since I'm not Mario Jenkins, I do have information regarding Mario Jenkins, so I can represent Mario Jenkins, even though I'm not Mario Jenkins. Okay. Regards, foreign European Jim Strickland, CEO of the private city of Memphis, doing business on the ancestral estate of the Moroccan Empire, soil of North America. Now, the reason it's so detailed is because I'm laying out status. All right. I'm laying out where we are. All right. Jurisdiction, land-wise jurisdiction, territorial jurisdiction. I'll say that. And we started off like this. Greetings. Firstly, congratulations to your corporate success. So I started off this way to let them know that I'm not a savage. I'm civil, even though I'm writing this guide to let them know something very specific. I can start off as a civil human being. With that being said, I am very aware of you being sworn to office today, January 1st, 2016, Christian calendar year, 1436 Moorish calendar year. So the reason those dates are different is because the Christian calendar year, it belongs to the Europeans, Gregorian calendar. And you have 1436, which is the Moorish calendar year. So if you know anything about the peace, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, you'll see that it was hundreds of years, of close to 500 years that was added to the Moorish calendar. So this is how it got up to where it is now. All right. Secondly, you will be held to your oath under the strictest conditions. Thirdly, I, Mario L. Bey, will continue to exercise my right to travel as I've done in the past, as well as not breaching the peace or committing any crimes. So I'm being really specific, letting them know that I'm not this so-called terrorist that some people paint us to be simply because I'm defending myself. And there's no records of me committing any crimes. There's no injured parties. I don't breach the peace. I don't have any contracts with anyone that someone's coming after me claiming that I owe them. All right, so I want to be real specific when I write this document. Again, thirdly, I, Mario L. Bey, will continue to exercise my right to travel as I've done in the past, as well as not breaching the peace or committing any crimes. For the record, I do not have any contracts with you, which is Jim Strickland. Let's say that one of his representatives wrote me basically saying that I've done something. I don't have any contracts with you, so I'm not obligated with you. So again, I'm being really detailed right here. The city of Memphis, I have no contracts with your private corporate security, Memphis Police, or any of your coworkers, associates, or assigns. So again, I'm being really detailed because again, it's all about what you're obligated to. And I'm not obligated to any of these entities or persons. If I, Mario Obey, is pulled over, stopped, or any way harassed by your private corporate security, Memphis Police, or any of its associates or assigns, you, Jim Strickland, will be held totally accountable for their actions due to you being their employer. All right. So you always go to the top. As Moors, we deal with the people that's on top. We don't deal with the people on the bottom, the foot soldiers. We go to the people that's over the foot soldiers. All right. That way, when you hold them accountable, they'll put the foot soldiers in check. If I am violated in any way, international criminal charges will be filed as well as liabilities against your indemnity bonds. Um, when you say something like this, you really got to do it. You just can't say it. You really have to do it. And indemnity bonds, if you want to know more about that, I have a book that was written in 2016 as well. As a matter of fact, I believe the page that I'm reading right now is actually in the book. It's called Public Official Bonds. It was written in 2016. And I go in detail about what public official bonds are, or surety bonds. Take this as a fair and timely warning. Furthermore, place this information in your permanent records. Therefore, it will be no mistake as to what is written. So the reason I said this is because I definitely want them to know that it's me that's making these statements. I'm standing on it, 10 toes. I'm not moving. And they know this because in the past, I haven't had any issues with them in so many years, but the last few times I have had a run-in with them, they got behind me. They figured out who I was by looking at the tags, and they kept it pushing. All right, that's not to brag or anything like that. That's hard work that I put in. All right, I just want to be let alone. That's it. All right, again, take this as a fair and timely warning. Furthermore, place this information in your permanent records. Therefore, it will be no mistake as to what is written. And once you go down a little bit, it says PS, and I break down the definition. Breaching the peace definition, not bothering, harassing, harming, injuring in any way a flesh and blood human, natural person. Now, the reason I said natural person is because in order for a crime to exist, you have to have an injured party. You have to have someone that can literally write out an affidavit and say you injured them. If you don't have that, there's no crime. This is how they get over on the people. They pick violations within the jurisdictions and call them crimes, and you don't rebut them, and it stands at that, a crime. All right. Next definition, committing crimes definition. I want to be really detailed. I want to be specific. That's why I'm stating this for the record. Harming or injuring a flesh and blood human, natural person. Natural person, where that natural person can write out an affidavit sworn under an oath by an Article 3 judge, claiming that he or she was injured by a specified person. See, I'm bringing that law to them so hard that they can't escape. They can't escape at all whatsoever. So again, by an Article 3 judge claiming that he or she was injured by a specified person. In order for a crime to exist, there must be an injured party, staying deceased. Article 6 of the American Constitution states that it is the supreme law of the land. Now, mind you, when a mayor gets into office, he does this or she does this, and they're taking an oath to the supreme law of the land, which is in Article 6, the American Constitution. We didn't make them do that, but the people do put them in office, and the people should hold them accountable for whatever it is they do that's out of line with what they've taken an oath to. All right. So I ended off as respectfully, Mario L. Bey, ex-rel, Mario Jenkins. Again, ex-rel is a law term, and it relates to information that's known by a person about a person, right? So I can represent Mario Jenkins, even though I'm not Mario Jenkins. The reason is because when I was incompetent, I had that name, but now that I'm national and I'm competent, I'm not that because I'm not a Jenkins. I'm not English. Right beneath that, it says improper persona. a divine flesh and blood natural person. Again, I'm being very specific. All right, impropriate persona, in one's own proper person. It's a Latin law term. So I'm in my proper person. I'm Mario L. Bay. I'm not Mario Jenkins. I'm not an Englishman. All right. All rights reserved forever until the day I die. All rights forever reserved without prejudice or recourse. And you can see that I took my stamp and stamped all rights reserved without prejudice or recourse through it. Okay, so if I scroll down to the end, you'll see where January 2nd, 2016, 12:31 a.m. I don't know if that's when I sent it out for the second time. I'm not sure, but everything's dated. So again, I scrolled back to the top. And again, this is an email that I emailed to myself and Jim Strickland, right? I printed out a copy and I sent the physical copy to him as well so that it can be no excuses. Well, I didn't get the email. Well, the certified registered mail or the certified mail says that you guys did receive it. So who's lying? All right. So you got to be really thorough. You can't be emotional. You just got to be factual. You got to understand what affidavits are. That's your truth on paper. And only go in on these people if they're coming after you unlawfully. Don't pick fights. All right. So until next time, get it together, get your affidavit game up, get your writ game up, get your verbiage up, and get your facts up and put the emotions in your back pocket. Okay. Until next time.